Alright, hey everybody. It is a fairly early on a Saturday morning. I have some batteries charging. I have my goggles ready. I got all my connectors ready. Today I'm going to show you kind of the basic setup for the Volantex Ranger 2000. 2000 means it's a 2-meter wingspan. How I've set that up, I'm going to go through that, just show you the flight controller and all the electronics. And then after that, I'm going to do the Maiden flight and show you some DVR footage. So let's get started. So like I said, I have some batteries charging here. Today I'm going to be using 2 of these 2200 milliamp hour 4S batteries. I have a 6200 milliamp hour 4S battery in the mail. It'll be a little heavier, but I think it'll probably get me around an hour and a half of flight time. I think these will probably do maybe 40 minutes to an hour, I would think. All right, so here's what we got. It has a 2-meter wingspan. It came with these sorts of stickers. Or decals, not stickers, same thing maybe. I did put a few of them on, but they just seemed a little cheesy to me and I didn't really like them. So I ended up having a spark of inspiration, and I did some of these kind of map contour line illustrations with a silver and black Sharpie, which I think it turned out pretty well. So that's kind of cool. I have a, what is this? This is from a flight test Power Pack C, I think. I never used it for an actual flight test plane. This is a 2218 1180 kV motor. This isn't, I think this prop came with the plane. It's a 8x4, I want to say. I think that's right. Up here I have the FPV camera mounted. It actually does come with a hole for putting the camera in right there. It just seems like if I land a little nose in, it's gonna end up cracked or filthy or just not be good. So I bought the plug and play version of this. I'm not really happy. I think it was kind of a waste of money. It just came with pretty crappy electronics. I ended up replacing almost all of them. The motor it came with had this cheap little metal spindle, and it was hard to get the prop on there. I just kind of said screw it and did my own thing. The SC I ended up replacing too. The SC was okay, but long story short, I ended up frying it because I'm stupid and I also ruined a receiver, but we won't get into that. Video transmitter I have mounted back here. I'm using the AKK FX2 Dominator flight controller, video transmitter, which will transmit it at up to 2 watts. Apparently it gets extremely hot, so one, the plane came built in with this kind of platform for mounting this, and 2, it's right behind the prop, so it should get plenty of airflow there, so I'm not too worried about that. And then the antenna here, I mounted it on this piece of foam just to elevate it a little bit. The fuselage is actually this hard plastic, it's not actually foam, so I couldn't just embed it, so that's that. Within the wing here, I have a TBS Crossfire micro receiver, and that's routed up here, and that's my charger beeping. That's actually detachable. The video transmitter is actually detachable too. It's not in the wing though. I originally planned on putting it in the wing, but I ended up putting it back there. The nice thing is I can detach it if I need to have it sit on the ground for a while, and it'll use less power and it won't heat up, so that's nice. Attached to that Crossfire receiver is I have an Immortal T antenna here embedded in the wing. Let me stop that beeping. Okay, sorry about that. The batteries were done charging. But I have these two 2200 milliamp hours here bundled together. Got some Velcro on the bottom. I need to fix that a little bit. And then I made this parallel connector a few days ago. So I'll have those in there for now until I get some different batteries. Then I have the Velcro on the bottom of here. These are actually these are graphene batteries, which are on the heavier side. So they ended up needing to be pretty far back, so I'm actually going to need to put some more Velcro in there for them to stick. These straps are kind of just a pain in the ass, so I might just not use them. What else? Camera. So this is the Cadex Ratel. It's a really good camera. It has pretty good color, contrast is great, and it's also good for a low light. I actually have the same camera in this drone here, and I'm pretty happy with it, so I just bought another one. That should pretty much do it before we go and fly this thing. Actually, one last thing. There is a GPS in this plane. It's the race day quads something. It's basically they just took the BN880, which is a common GPS, which also has a compass in it, and race day quads put their brand on it. I think it was like 20 bucks, fairly cheap. In there, this plane actually, if you can see in there, there's kind of a block of foam back there, and you put the GPS in that foam. So I have that in there, and then I cut out a square from an aluminum can and put it underneath it for shielding from the other electronics. It actually works pretty well. I'm getting 16 satellites here in my garage usually, so that's pretty good. Okay, actually let's go ahead and fly now. So when trying to launch this thing, I accidentally plowed it into the ground twice. The reason ended up being because I had it in angle mode rather than manual mode. When it's in angle mode, it limits the travel of most of the servos, all of them, I think actually. So you just don't have much elevator authority. So I just couldn't pull up enough. So let's watch that. So throughout this time, I was messing around with some of the things you're supposed to do for iNav. One of those is auto trim, which you just put in the stick controls to fly the plane straight, and then it sets the midpoint. And I played with return to home a little bit. The compass wasn't set up right. I think I had the wrong orientation. After this flight, I messed with it a lot, and the best I could do is like 5 degrees off from north, but it did respond to turning the plane how you'd expect it to. So we're gonna have to see how that worked out. So because the compass wasn't really working, you can see I'm pointed directly toward home, but the arrow's pointed left at the top. I wasn't able to really do most of those modes. There's something called auto tune as well. I tried that, and none of these things saved. I don't really know why. I think I did it how I was supposed to, but I don't know. So maybe next time. So I'm just gonna let this play out, and we'll call it good. So there was a crop duster plane that was traveling back and forth, probably between where he was filling up and where he was dumping chemicals, and he kept flying over. So when I heard him coming, I usually descended pretty far down. He was pretty low, maybe like 500 to 800 feet. So the altimeter is reading -4 feet there. So after that, I punched it up. You can see him up there in the frame actually.